I know that my 2 times great-grandfather Robert was in the Royal Marines and then's up in China, but I don't know why.
Right. You know, Britain and China had 2 Opium Wars. The first one was 1839 to 42,
Okay.
and second one was 1856 to 1860. So Britain was growing opium in India, and they were selling it to China for tea.
So, oh, wow, okay, hang on. So the British, so opium was being sold as a drug, essentially.
Yes, as a commodity.
As a commodity. So they're drug dealers,
Yeah.
but using it as an act of trade.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When Robert arrived in China in the 1860s, Britain's empire was nearing its peak and eager to expand its opportunities for global trade. After being defeated in the Opium Wars, China had been forced to allow the British to sell this highly addictive drug to its people. But local Chinese resistance threatened this lucrative trade, so ships including the Sylvia patrolled the region, with Marines like Robert ready to land at a moment's notice to defend British interests.
This is a document reporting about an incident that happened.
Attack on boats of Her Majesty's ship Cockchafer.
Cockchafer, indeed. Yeah. I don't think your ancestor was on that boat.
I hope not. While passing the village of Utangpai,
Yep.
we were assailed with stones thrown from behind the bank of the river.
Yes. And now if you turn to the next page.
It is apparent that these villagers must be punished.
Yeah.
So that they decide to retaliate and punish is quite a full-on word, isn't it?
Right. So let's see how they punished the Chinese.
Next morning early, I left the ships and landed the Marines at Swatow
Yeah.
with orders to march up to the creek and await there the arrival of the rest of the force. So that would have been Robert.
Yes.
Detachments were sent in to burn the village. Wow, that is a punishment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having effectually destroyed the village, there being little but burnt walls left standing, I withdrew the force to the boats and let the people have their dinner. Well, that's nice, isn't it? It's burnt a village to the ground. Time for tea.
Yeah.
Wow. So they've really obliterated them.
Yeah, and this was not the only village, of course.
All the villages had been burnt and a great number of the inhabitants, both male and female, killed, wounded or carried off as prisoners. I mean, there's a lot of killing here.
Yeah.
So it's a massacre.
You could call that. You could call that.
So Robert will have killed a lot of Chinese people.
Yeah, he was part of the force that did the job.
But if not, he would have seen horrible things being done to people.
Yeah, so he might have been what we call shell-shocked, you know, to be in a different environment. How people wage war, it's dramatic in a way, and it can be scary.
Yeah, it's really scary. It's scary reading it. I'd like to think that Robert was just doing his duty and doing as he was told, but I can't get around the fact that he was part of the Marines who did these really atrocious things to Chinese villagers. I was all for him before, and now I'm a bit like, I don't know what to think. It's given him a new dimension that's not as clear cut.